All right. Hey, thank you all for coming today. Today I'm excited to announce our proposal for Montana's facial recognition laws here in the form of Senate Bill 397. SB 397 is the product of 2 years worth of work started from Representative Sullivan's facial recognition study bill that we passed last session. In the interim, we learned about the benefits of facial recognition technology, but also the ease at which it can be abused. Come on in here. Facial recognition technology is becoming more widespread, and it poses serious risks to Montanans' privacy and due process rights. Montanans don't want mass surveillance. Senate Bill 397 prohibits the use that could most likely lead to that surveillance and lead to an invasion of our privacy. That is continuous surveillance. I want to make that really clear. This bill bans the state government from using continuous surveillance. We value our privacy here in Montana. The government should not be tracking its people. Senate Bill 397 does continue to allow the departments to use facial verification. That is one-to-one and one-to-many facial matches. But it does put strict guidelines on the use of such technology. It's important for us to regulate and restrict the government's use of this invasive technology and protect the rights of our citizens. We do that in this bill by, 1, requiring all law enforcement to request use of facial recognition technology through the Department of Justice, and only for serious crimes, assisting in locating a missing person, or when there is imminent threat to a person. By also requiring disclosure to criminal defendants, by requiring written use and privacy policies, as well as reporting requirements. It also requires notification to an individual of its use, requiring privacy and retention policies and reporting requirements. It also requires human review and requiring audit processes as well. And then finally, it creates penalties for violations of those requirements. This bill builds on data privacy laws championed by Senator Zolnikov over the last decade, Representative Sullivan and former Senator Bennett last session, as well as my constitutional amendment to protect electronic data and communications from illegal search and seizures that voters passed in November. Montana continues to be a leader in privacy protections, and that is thanks to those here today and the legislature that continues to support these policies. So I want to thank you all and to the legislature for continuing to champion these policies. Representative Sullivan and Senator Noland put a lot of time and work into Senate Bill 397, as well as the Economic Affairs Interim Committee. So I would like to invite them to say a few words this time. President Ellsworth, if you'd like to start.
Sure. I'd just like to say that this is a continuation of what we do in Montana, which is protecting Montanans, making sure that we listen to the voices. We heard the voices loud and clear in the interim. Representative Sullivan, Senator Bogner, and this was a bipartisan effort. So this is working together to solve Montanan issues for Montanans. So thank you both.
Thank you, Mr. President. Representative Sullivan, if you'd like to say a few words, please.
Yeah, I would. Thank you. I just want to thank the Senator for bringing this bill. I think this has been a long time in the making. As we said, we had a very comprehensive study where we had all the stakeholders come in and talk to us over months and months. We heard from government agencies, we heard from law enforcement, we heard from tech companies, and we did an extensive study. This bill is thoughtful, it is balanced, and I think we're going to be seen as one of the model bills in the country for facial recognition when this thing goes through. So thanks everyone for great bipartisan work. I'm really excited. Thank you.
Senator Noland.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for being here. Those of you who know my stance on facial recognition is a firm no. We're not going to allow facial recognition in the state of Montana. But when you work together to try and get something done and accomplished, you need to listen to all parties, and that's what we have done. We've come together, we've worked together, and this shows a unified effort because I was a strict no, a dead no, I'm not going to have any, and then it's important that we do listen. We have great leadership in our president, and our pro tem, and I appreciate the House side too, Ms. Sullivan, Representative Sullivan. This will be something that we will be looking forward to and looking at continually, because the citizens of Montana don't want to have their privacy impaired. And with the bipartisan group, we've made some really good efforts in the state of Montana. We can all be proud of it. Thank you.
Senator Morigeau.
Thank you. Senator Morigeau out of Senate District 48 out of Missoula County. I'll just say this is one of the most enjoyable committees I have ever worked on. Not just this bill we got out, we got a lot of great pieces of legislation out of this committee. It's a testament to what can happen when we put our minds together and we show up in an intern committee and we don't care about the letter behind our name, we just get to work, and I think it was pretty universally unified to the fact that people care about privacy in Montana. So it was an honor to listen to all my colleagues, their points, and actually hear them and work on something to get it out of the committee and to the legislature. So thank you all for your work.
So thank you once again to the Economic Affairs Interim Committee for all your work on this issue. The policies set forth in Senate Bill 397 are extensive, so I encourage you all to watch the bill hearing tomorrow at 8:30 in Senate Business and Labor Committee, and to learn more about Senate Bill 397. So I'll take some general questions now.
For Senator Noland, obviously, like you said, during the interview, you had a lot of concerns about this. I know law enforcement came out sort of trying to move this bill maybe closer to a compromise. I'm wondering if you feel like there's anything in there that you guys seeded in order to reach that compromise.
Well, we want to have protection. And so when I was being a firm no, and I listened to Judge Ortley make his plea in his case, I had to take reflection and say, okay, absolutely nothing. Is that going to pass the Senate and the House? Probably not. So we have to come together, and that's what this group did. So law enforcement issues was something that I was really concerned with. We didn't want to hinder them, but I wanted to have some really good safeguards, and this bill doesn't attempt to do that. Thank you.
And Senator Noland really did work with us, and he was open to working together to come up with a solution, because right now there are no laws on the books related to facial recognition technology. So this will be a great start. Any more questions? Yes.
Since the end of the interim committee, has there been any fine detail tweaking over the past couple of months that is noteworthy since the interim?
Nothing noteworthy. We worked on one of the PDs from Economic Affairs. We adjusted a little, but it's very similar to one of the options we had. But Representative Sullivan and I came up with something we felt was just a little tighter, that we had more time to spend on. So that's what you see here with Senate Bill 397.
Now that you've made the changes that you made during the interim, do you know how law enforcement and the Attorney General and those officers are they going to come out opposed, or do you know any indication yet?
Well, we heard a little bit from them during the Economic Affairs Interim Committee. We really hope they come in support of this. We like this product, but if this looks like it's going to fail, we can go to Senator Noland's original proposal for a complete ban. So we really hope that they will get behind this.
One more for Representative Sullivan, please. Talking about that study, I think I'm just curious, what are some of the most important things that came out of that study that we can inform this?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think what the most important part of the study was that I was able to have a large meeting with senators and representatives from both sides of the aisle all come into the room together and have people come talk to us about what it means to have privacy, what it means to have facial recognition. We all learn the technology together, we all learn the process, and that was where the magic happened, and so that's what was so great about the study. Yeah.
All right. Any last questions? All right. Thank you all, and thank you all for your work. Thanks.